Hi Ciaran, nice to meet you.
And you?
Ciaran, can you tell us who EV breakers are?
So, long and the short of it, is what it says in the tin, EV breaker. So we take crash damage, fire damage, flood damage EVs, we dismantle them down, sell the parts on for spares, and try and keep the second-hand market for EVs on the road. So when your warranty runs out, you have somewhere to go rather than having to run back to the OEs all the time.
Super. We hear stories in social media about how easy electric cars are to write off, but you've got obviously some experience in that. It's not just an electric car phenomenon, that.
Yeah. So I come from a background within all cars, motorsport, everything. Originally, I was a petrol head, made my way into the EV side of things, and can see obviously all backgrounds of it, of working at classic cars, working at modern petrol and diesels, and now working at EVs. EVs all day, every day are the easiest to work on. Now, for the first while, getting obviously your certification, getting your head around how different electrical components work can be a little difficult just to start off, but see when you get your head around one car, you don't want to go back to them. Hands are nice and clean today. Finishing a day's work back at home, hands aren't much dirtier than that, so I would far rather it. It's far easier, far less components, and it's a lot of the stuff's nearly plug and play with a little bit of coding, you know.
Yeah, and in terms of how easy cars are to write off, it is a modern car phenomenon rather than an electric vehicle phenomenon, because even ICE vehicles have lots of sensors and bumpers and things. Very easy to write them off, isn't it?
Yeah. So what we get a lot is people see a lot of videos that we put up on social media, and they think all these EVs are getting written off so easy. You know, these almost brand new cars like the Peugeot 288 we had with only 69 miles in it got written off, but it falls into petrol and diesel cars as well. If you go on to any of the popular auction sites, you'll be able to see that there's plenty of petrol and diesels that are not even a year old, not even 100 miles in the cars, getting written off just as easy as the EVs. It's just because we put a bit of a highlight to it that we want to show people different bits of the EVs and what we do. That's kind of why people are seeing that these different cars that we have are being written off. But if I was getting petrol and diesel cars in on a daily basis, you'd see just as much, if not more.
Yeah. I would imagine your most popular part is going to be the battery. You know, that's where a lot of the value of second-hand and crash damage electric cars are, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Is that true? Yeah?
Yeah, so the most popular part is the battery. We don't sell probably as much batteries as we originally thought we were going to. So when EVs first came about, we all heard that these batteries aren't going to last. And we went, oh, happy days, we'll sell loads of batteries. But as the years have gone on, we've realized that these batteries last so much longer, and we're having to look at different avenues in terms of home storage, people using them for conversions and different things like that. So we're always working on different avenues, but yeah, batteries are a big seller for us as well.
Okay, so the battery market is really not about repairing cars as such, and that it's about the reuse of the batteries in other forms, as you say, in home storage or converted electric cars, so that kind of thing. Yeah. How many batteries would ever, whenever you're breaking cars, how many batteries would ever, in your experience, end up in a landfill site?
So not that many, percentage-wise, 1-2%, if even. Out of everything that we've had 2 batteries, which unfortunately we weren't able to use. One was a flood damaged one was a fire damaged one. Even when we kind of got into stripping down the fire damaged one, there was still a few modules that didn't look to be affected. We're still reading the proper voltage, but because of obviously the temperatures they were exposed to, we said that we would send it all off to get it all recycled. Still never reached the landfill as such. Everything in them can be recycled and reused. It's just we need to see that in a bit of a bigger scale before we start seeing more and more batteries coming in. But at the minute, if even 1 or 2%.
That's great to hear that, you know, even when a part like a battery, the most expensive part, isn't usable again in some of these other forms, it's still usable in terms of being recycled and obviously going on to being reused from that, not just scrap. That's great news. What would be your second most popular part of batteries, or the number one part? Give us a flavour of what the most popular parts that you would see.
So it's some days it all depends, but the easiest way I always put it for everybody is you nearly start from the ground up. So whatever's going to touch the ground first and whatever's close enough to the ground is kind of what gets more and more sales. So believe it or not, wheels are a big one for us. Splash guards and under trays are another big one because they're so close to the road and can be damaged. But as you move on, you sort of get your panels, your doors, your wings, your headlights, different things like that. But more so just generic parts as well, because we're able to get so many smaller parts off and up for sale a lot quicker than maybe the doors and that. It means that we sell a lot of that as well. But everything's selling off, and we try our best to recycle as much of the car as possible and reuse it and make sure that somebody can keep their car on the road for cheaper and save a bit of money.
And you sell right across the UK and ship wherever it's needed, yeah?
We can ship anywhere in the world. If you want it, we'll sell it, we'll ship it, we'll look after you. And even if you just want a bit of advice, we can do it as well.
Super. Where would people find out more about EV Breakers?
So one of our best is just our website, so just evbreakers.com. We're on all social media platforms just as EV Breakers. We have a good enough following. TikTok is where we cover a lot of our videos and that as well. So if you just want to see a background into what we do and how we do it, then you can follow us there as well.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Ciaran.
Thank you.
Thank you.